Let us learn today source transformation with dependent sources. So let us learn how to solve the given electrical circuit using source transformation when dependent sources are being present in the given network, electrical network. Today, my third video on network theory, where in my previous video I have explained about source transformation technique used in reduction of electrical networks that we normally solve. So in continuation of that, let us learn how to do the source transformation when we have a dependent source in the circuit diagram. So what we can do or what we do when we have a dependent source in the circuit diagram, right? So earlier discussion what we did, we never had any circuit where we had a dependent source in the circuit. So now we'll see how to solve a given any problem when we do have a dependent source in the circuit. Okay. So technique is similar to what we did earlier in the previous problems when we solved using source transformation. The technique is same, but you should be cautious enough with the dependent source because dependent source will always be dependent on some other parameter in the network. Okay, so dependent source will always be dependent on some other parameter in the particular given network. So if you keep that in mind, I hope transformation is similar to what we did earlier. So let us get into the problem. Okay. Okay. Now this is the problem which you can see here. So the problem says using source transformation technique, find the current I1. So we need to find out what is current I1. Okay. So this is the question which has been given, and this is the network what you can see here, right? So this is the network what you can see here. So the network is given here with a dependent source which you can see here, which is 5i1. So as you can see, minus plus symbol inside the rhombus, so it says that this is the current dependent voltage source because I1 is current. Okay, so current dependent voltage source because it is minus plus. So normally when we have an arrow we think it as a current source. So when we have a polarity mentioned in the rhombus symbol, then we try to think that this is a voltage source, but it is current dependent because I1 is current here. Okay, now how to solve this problem by using source transformation. The current what you need to find out here is I1. So very simple problem. I think what I said you earlier is you people should first think what technique or where the exact the source transformation should be applied. See, whatever the way you think is what which is very important because the best reduction technique that you apply, the number of steps will be reduced. Now, if you keep on applying the step of source transformation and if you keep on continuing the step again and again and again, it means that in the beginning itself you made some mistake. Okay, in the beginning itself, you people might have done some mistake in applying source transformation. So you have to apply source transformation in such a way that the circuit becomes simpler step by step. So every step it becomes reduction network what you get. Okay, so you should not add any complication in the circuit. That is what which is very important when you apply the technique. So here when you look into this, very soon that you can think is the current I1 can be obtained if you convert this parallel to serial, right? Because when I apply KVL to this loop, when this parallel is converted to serial, when I apply KVL to this loop, then I1 is the current through 30 ohm resistance can be easily found, right? So we'll see at the end whether we need to apply current division rule or just applying KVL for the entire loop, we will obtain the result. Okay, so we'll see that. So here you can see 1 amp is parallel with 50 ohms, and similarly we have 10 ohm in parallel with 20 ohms. So that is what you can see solution. So 1 amp is parallel with 50 ohms and 10 ohm is in parallel with 20 ohms, 20 amps. So therefore, why can't we convert this into serial, right? So these two parallel combination gets converted into serial by using Ohm's law. So how do you do that? Converting a current source in parallel with resistance to a voltage source in series with the resistance. Okay. So 1 I am in parallel with 50 ohms. So what is V? V equals I into R. So 1 into 50 is the voltage source value will become 50 volts. And then 50 ohm will be in series with that. And then the arrow mark is showcased here is downwards, right? So the arrow mark is actually downwards. So therefore, the polarity of this 50 volts will be as shown here. Minus will be upwards and positive will be downwards. Because the arrow mark here, the arrow is flowing towards down. So therefore, minus plus will be done like this. Okay. And then again converting this parallel to serial. So 20 into 10 is 200 volts. V equals I into R. And that will be in series with 10 ohms now. So parallel to serial, and this is the network which we get. I think now the job is very simple because we have one single loop here. So one single loop, and I hope in series current remains constant in entire loop. Therefore, the current flowing through this loop is nothing but I1. So I1 would be the total current that flows in this particular loop. Okay, so let us find out what is total current I1. So how to find out total current I1? So total current I1, if you want to find out, let us apply KVL here. So for that, we should take the direction of the current. Anyway, in the question it's given clockwise, so we'll assume the direction of the current to be clockwise. So the current flowing from plus to minus polarity towards 50 volts, so I will write minus 50. Okay. Plus to minus, so if you take the arrow and start flowing through this particular voltage source, it is plus to minus, so minus 50, and voltage will always be drop across the resistance, so I will always take negative here, so minus 50 times I1, so that would be the voltage across 50 ohms, minus 50 times I1. So KVL means what? We will do the summation of the total voltages that you come across in a series network across each element. Right, so total adding up all the voltage across each element, voltage drop across each element, and that would be equal to 0. That is what KVL Kirchhoff voltage law says. Then the current is flowing through minus plus here, so plus 5 times I1. Then it is flowing through 30 ohms, so minus 30 I1. Then it is flowing through 10 ohms, so minus 10 I1. And then finally it is flowing through plus to minus, so 200 volts it is flowing through plus to minus, so it is minus 200, which is equal to 0. So now this is a very simple equation where you take all I1 terms to the left hand side and all other numerical terms to the right hand side, so therefore you get minus 85 I1 equals 250. Finally the current I1 is equal to minus 2.94 amps. So this is how we found the current I1 in this particular problem. So I hope you are fine with this problem. Just I'll scroll down again. So converting this parallel to serial, and then finding out the total current I1 in the single loop, whatever we have, by applying Kirchhoff voltage law. Okay, so clear? So this is how dependent source is given and we found the solution here. Okay, now problem 2. Here is quite different problem what you can see, what we have seen earlier. Earlier problem, that is just 4 marks problem what you have seen. Now we'll go little bit more bit more complicated, or again this is just a 6 mark problem because it's quite easier. The only thing is you should know how to solve it. Okay. So here calculate current through 3 ohm resistor and hence voltage Vx across it. So here 3 ohm resistor is this. So I hope the diagram is visible to you. So this is the 3 ohm resistance where Vx is voltage across that 3 ohms. Now we do have a current source here which is dependent on that voltage Vx. This is the voltage dependent current source which is given in the network. Okay. Now job is to find out Vx now by applying source transformation technique. So apply source transformation to find out the voltage Vx across 3 ohm resistor. Okay, so how will we do this? How can we solve this particular problem? I hope in the previous video I told you repeatedly that please look into the redundant condition in any given network in the beginning. You need to look into the redundant condition always. If there is any redundant condition in the network, first try to remove that redundant condition in the network and then you should continue solving the problem. I'll give you 2 seconds, 10-second time. Like, can you all think what would be the redundant condition that you find here? Okay, so redundant condition is what? You will never see a current source in series with the resistance and you will never see a voltage source in parallel with the resistance. So that are the two redundant conditions that we come across always. So here, I hope in this diagram, can you see here? I hope you all can see this AND mark in my video. So this current source in series with the resistance is what you can see here, where this is the redundant condition which you need to remove. So what you need to do is remove this 4 ohm resistance and create a short across this particular terminal. So therefore my circuit will be this. So I have removed this 4 ohm here, right? I had 4 ohm here. So I have removed that and I have shortened that terminal. Okay, so 4 ohm is removed and shortened. Now this is the reduced network. Now we'll see how to solve this particular problem. So source transformation can be applied to the dependent sources provided the property of the source should not get changed. Provided the property of the current source or voltage source should not get changed even though the transformation is been done. Okay, now in this problem we have 4 amps in parallel with 2 ohms. And then we have 2 Vx, which is a current source, dependent source, in parallel with 2 ohms. Now, if we convert these two parallel to series, I hope the circuit becomes quite simpler. Okay, so that would be the first step which we apply now. So when I do that, 4 into 2 is 8 volts, and that lie in series with 2 ohms. Okay. And therefore you have minus plus because the arrow is downwards here. And then if you try to convert this dependent current source to dependent voltage source, you are just multiplying the current value with resistance. So 2 into 2 is 4 Vx. See, Vx is not eliminated here. Vx remains as it is. Okay. So that is what property should not change when current source is converted into voltage source. Now we have voltage source 4Vx here and that is in series with 2 ohms. Now this is the network which we got after converting this parallel to series. Fine. What would be the next step? What would be the next step? Now you can see in this particular circuit, we can see this parallel. Now if this parallel is converted into series, then we might get one single loop where we can easily find out Vx by finding the current in that particular loop. So how to do this? We have this parallel. How to convert that into series? So it's quite simple because we have voltage source in series with resistance here. Once we convert that voltage source in series with resistance to a current source in parallel with the resistance, then this and this resistance will lie in parallel. So you can find out the equivalent resistance. So that is what I am doing here. So before that, trying to do that, can we see that this two voltage source, both are voltage source, though this is a dependent source, but still it is a voltage source. Even this is a voltage source. As both are voltage source, I can easily add or subtract both. Okay. And similarly, this 2 ohms and 2 ohms lie in series. Okay, they both lie in series. So I can easily add the two resistances also in series. So that is what we get here. Here see, when I take a current in clockwise direction here, when I take a current in clockwise direction here, current starts flowing plus to minus here, and current comes here and goes to here. Again it starts flowing from plus to minus. Therefore they both get added up. Okay. So here the minus plus is being assumed to be the polarity of this particular voltage source only. 4Vx plus 8. So they both get added up. So I'll say 4Vx plus 8. And these 2 ohms are been in series. So they get added up and I get 4 ohms. Now this entire branch, what you can see, is parallel to this 2 branch. Therefore, 4Vx plus 8 series with 4 ohms in parallel with 6 volts in series with 3 ohms, and that in turn parallel with 4 ohms. Okay. Now the next step is I can convert this. See, I need to find out Vx, right? So therefore, I'll keep this branch as it is. I'll not try to eliminate this branch by converting into series or parallel. So I'll keep this branch as it is because I need to find out Vx across to 3 ohms. I'll try to play a game with other branch now. So this voltage in series with resistance can be converted into a current in parallel with the resistance. So 4Vx V by R, I equals V by R. 4Vx plus 8 by 4. So you get 4 common here. So Vx plus 2, 4 gets cancelled. So you are left out with Vx plus 2 here. And that in turn in parallel with 4 ohms. That in turn parallel with the 6 volts in series with 3 ohms. And that in turn parallel with 4 ohms. Okay, now this 4 ohms and this 4 ohms are in parallel. All are parallel actually. All 4 branches are in parallel. Somehow these 4 ohms and 4 ohms can be converted into one single resistance. So 4 into 4 by 4 plus 4, 16 by 8, which is 2 ohms. So once you convert this 2 branch into equivalent 2 ohms, you get this particular circuit. We have 2 ohms in parallel with 6 volts in series with 3 ohms, and that in turn parallel with Vx plus 2. Now what is the next job? Next job is, I have these 2 in parallel, in series, sorry. Can't I convert this current source and these 2 ohms into series? And that in turn will become series, the entire network will become in series. Now current in parallel with 2 ohms is converted into voltage in series with 2 ohms. So here V equals I into R, so 2 into Vx plus 2 is 2Vx plus 4. That is in series with 2 ohms, that is in series with 6 volts, that is in series with 3 ohms. Now what is the voltage across 3 ohms? Voltage across 3 ohms is nothing but Vx equals 3 into I, right? Let us assume that there is total current I flowing through this network. So if I say what is voltage across 3 ohms, definitely it will be 3 into I. So Vx equals 3 into I. Therefore, when I apply KVL for this particular network, I get minus 2 Vx plus 4. Minus, because plus to minus it is going, the current flowing from plus to minus. So minus of 2Vx plus 4, minus 2I plus 6, minus 3I or minus Vx we can say equals 0. Minus Vx or minus 3I, both are same. So therefore, once you substitute Vx to be equal to 3I here, in this entire network, I will be having only terms of I. So take all I terms to the left hand side and other numerical terms to the right hand side. I get I to be equal to 2 by 11 amps. Current I will be equal to 2 by 11 amps. Okay, this is obtained by KVL. Once I found the current I, then Vx will be equal to 3I. So 3 times 2 by 11, therefore Vx will be equal to 6 by 11 volts. 6 by 11 volts. So clear? So I hope the problem is clear to you all. So I'll just scroll down the problem again from the beginning. So this is the given question here. So redundancy condition was been found in the problem. That 4 ohm was been removed and the equivalent circuit is written here. And then we found 4 amps in parallel with 2 ohms and 2 Vx current dependent current source in parallel with 2 ohms. We converted into series both of them, and then we found that these are in parallel. Meanwhile, these two are in series and these two voltage sources are in series where we can add up. So we got this branch, and finally we saw all three are in parallel, and then this series network we converted into parallel current source in parallel with resistance. and then we saw 4 ohm and 4 ohm are in parallel and converted into single 2 ohms, and then we saw that current source in parallel with 2 ohms converted into series network, and then we found that we got one single loop here, and then applying KVL we found the total current I, and after finding out the total current I, we came to know that the voltage across 3 ohms is nothing but 3I. Therefore substituted I and found Vx finally. Clear? Okay, coming to problem 3. So in problem 3 it says calculate the current through 2 ohms resistor by using source transformation. Okay, now where exactly 2 ohm resistance is placed such that here, okay, so 2 ohm resistor is this, you need to find out what is the current through that particular 2 ohm resistor. Okay, how to find out that? Where is the dependent source is given 3Vx, and that Vx is nothing but voltage across 2 ohms only. Okay, first thing, any redundancy condition? I don't think so, because these both are in parallel and that in turn in series with 4 ohms, so no redundancy here. And again these are in parallel and that in turn series with 2 ohms, and these both are in parallel, so we don't have any redundancy issue in this particular network. Okay, so that is the first job which we need to which we should do always. Okay, very soon let us do, because we have already solved 2 problems earlier. So we have 5 amps in parallel with 3 ohms that we can convert into series. Similarly, we have 9 ohm in parallel with 1 amp. Can we convert that into series, voltage source in series with resistance? Okay, come on, let us do that. So 5 into 3 is 15 volts. Arrow towards upper side, therefore minus plus will be written in this sense. 3 ohm will be in series with 4 ohms now. Similarly, here 9 into 1 is 9 volts. Again upper arrow mark here, so therefore minus plus, and then we have in series with 9 ohms. Now 4 plus 3 is 7 ohms. Sorry. 4 plus 3 is 7 ohms. We have here in series with 15 volts, and then 9 ohms in series with 9 volts we have here. Okay, now what else we can do? So this parallel can be converted into series now. Very simple, right? This parallel 17 ohm in parallel with 3Vx dependent source can be converted into voltage source in series with the resistance, provided the dependent source property should not get changed. So 17 into 3 is 51 Vx. So that is what 1 Vx. Arrow mark is towards right side, so minus plus will be written in this sense. So 51 Vx in series with 17 ohms, and that in turn in series with 2 ohms. So that is what the equivalent circuit what you get here. Now, can I convert this series into parallel so that this 2 resistance can be converted in parallel to equivalent circuit, to equivalent resistance? So that is what we do here. So 15 volt in series with 7 converts into current source in parallel with the resistance. So V by R, 15 by 7 is the current source value. 15 by 7 parallel with 7 ohms, parallel with in turn 7 ohms. Okay, and that in turn follows with this other part of the circuit. Now 7 ohm and 7 ohm are in series, so parallel, therefore you can convert into equivalent resistance, which is 49 by 14 ohms. Now finally these are all in series, as I need to find out current through 2 ohms. So if I convert this parallel to serial, then I get one single loop where I can apply KVL and finally can find out the total current, and that would be the current through 2 ohms. So 15 by 7 in parallel with 49 by 14 can be converted into series, where voltage source in series with is 49 by 14. So 49 by 14 can be written as 7 by 2. Therefore 15 by 7 multiplied by 49 by 14, I get 15 by 2. 15 by 2 is what I get voltage source. Arrow is towards upwards, therefore I will write minus plus, and that in turn series with 7 by 2 ohms. 49 by 14 is nothing but 7 by 2, because 7 7s are 49 and 7 2s are 14, so therefore 7 by 2 can be written here, and 51 Vx, and then 17 ohms, and in series with 2 ohms, in series with 9 ohms, and then 9 volts. Now apply the KVL here. I have single loop now, easily KVL can be applied now. So I is flowing through minus plus, so 15 by 2 plus 15 by 2 minus 7 by 2 I plus 51 Vx minus 17i minus Vx minus 9i minus 9 equals 0. Okay, equals 0. Now what is Vx exactly? Vx is voltage across 2 ohms. Can I write it as 2i? Vx equals 2i. So Vx equals 2i. Therefore 15 by 2 minus 7 by 2i plus 51 into 2 is 102 times I minus 17i minus Vx is minus 2i minus 9i minus 9 equals 0. So with this equation, take all I terms to the right hand side and all numerical terms to the left hand side. Finally, we will be left out with I, which is current I, will be equal to 3 by 141 amps, and that is equal to 0.021 amps. Now, in turn, if you want to find out what is Vx here, Vx will be equal to 2 times I, therefore 2 times 0.021, which will give you Vx to be equal to 0.042 volts. I hope the problem is clear to you. I'll again move the cursor from the question. So this was the question which is given. So here we have 5 amps in series in parallel with 3 ohms converted into series, and we had 9 ohm in parallel with 1 amp converted into series, and then these both are in series, so we added up and we wrote 7 ohms, and then this is a part of the network which you can see here, and then this parallel what we had we converted into series, and then we got this entire series network here, and now we saw this both are parallel, means we have two different loops here. So to convert into one single loop, we need to convert this series to parallel. So we got this current source in parallel with the resistance, and then we found that there are two resistance which are in parallel, and that we converted into one single resistance, equivalent resistance, and then we got this entire thing is in series. So if we convert this parallel to series, then we get one single loop in the entire with the entire components. Therefore this parallel is converted into series again, and we saw this single loop which we have got. Then finally we applied KVL for this particular single loop, and then finally we found what is the current I. Fine, clear? Okay, now let us go to the problem 4, where we need to find out what is Vx here across 2 ohms. We need to find out Vx across 2 ohm resistance. Okay, how to do this? Okay, I'll give you 10 seconds time. You can think for it. Okay, how to find out Vx? First thing is you need to see there is a series network here, 6 volts in series with 2 ohms, can be converted into a current source in parallel with 2 ohms. That is the one step which you can do. Meanwhile, you can also see 4 ohms in parallel with 0.25 Vx, that can also be converted into series. So I hope that is the first step we will do now. So 4 into 0.25 is 1. So that is what? V equals I into R. 4 into 0.25 is 1 Vx, therefore 1 Vx. Arrow mark is towards left side, so therefore I'll take plus to the left side, minus to the right side. And then I'll write in series with 4 ohms here. And then I have 2 ohms, 2 ohms, 6 volts and 18 volts as given in the question. The next step what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to convert this series to parallel. So 6 volts in series with 2 ohms converts into current source in parallel with 2 ohms. So V by R is what the current value, 6 by 2 is 3 amps. 3 amps parallel with 2 ohms, and that in turn parallel with 2 ohms, and the remaining part of the circuit in the question which we have. Now these two parallel, I am going to convert it into one single equivalent source. Even though I convert this one equivalent resistance, the voltage across that particular parallel circuit remains Vx only. So though it is 2 into 2 divided by 2 plus 2, when you convert and if you get 1 ohm, the voltage across that particular terminal will remain as Vx only. So nothing wrong in this now. So therefore I will convert this 2 ohms in parallel with 2 ohms to one single resistance, which is 1 ohm, and that in turn will be Vx will be across that 1 ohm. And this is the remaining part of the circuit which you can see here. Now, what is the next step which we can do? What is the next method we can apply? I'll do one thing. I'll try to convert this parallel to series now, and I will assume there is Vx across that open circuit which we created after converting parallel to series. So here we have 3 volts in series with 1 ohms, right? 3 into 1 is 3 volts in series with 1 ohms, and voltage across that particular terminals between ground and this node is actually Vx. So I'll retain that Vx here, and that is connected to next part of the network. Now here I will be getting 2 equations. One equation is for this particular loop provided by keeping Vx here, and the other equation is for this loop. Therefore, plus 3 minus 1 into I minus Vx equals 0. So this is the loop equation which I wrote. Plus 3 minus I minus Vx equals 0. Similarly, if I write equation for this particular loop, plus Vx minus 4i, see the current remains same. Vx is the open circuit voltage value. Once this is open, the same current flows through this entire circuit. Okay, don't get confused. This is open. As it is open, current I remains constant to in this particular entire loop. It is as good as all are in series only. But I am keeping this Vx because we need to find out Vx. That is what the question which is given. So 3 minus I minus Vx equals 0. So Vx and this equation, this loop equation, Vx minus 4i minus Vx minus 18 volts equals 0. So here I will be equal to minus 4.5 amps. So how do you got I equals minus 4.5 amps? Because Vx and Vx gets cancelled here. So therefore minus 4i will be equal to 18. Therefore I would be equal to minus 18 by 4, which is minus 4.5 amps. Similarly 3 minus I will be equal to Vx. So therefore Vx will be equal to 3 plus 4.5. Therefore Vx will be equal to 7.5 volts. How did I got this equation here? 3 minus I minus Vx equals 0. Therefore Vx would be equal to 3 minus I. So Vx equals 3 minus of minus 4.5, which is 3 plus 4.5. Therefore Vx will be equal to 7.5 volts. Clear? I hope this problem is clear to you. So let us again scroll down with the from beginning. So here find Vx. This is the question which was being given. So we saw 6 volts in series with 2 ohms and 4 ohms in parallel with this current source, dependent current source, that we converted into series. And then we saw that this 6 volts in series with 2 ohms converted into parallel, and that 2 ohm in parallel with 2 ohm is converted into equivalent 1 ohm. And then this parallel is again converted into series. And then we kept this open voltage current open circuit voltage Vx to be remained same there itself, and then we wrote 2 equations, and with that 2 equations we were able to find out I, and then in turn we were able to find out Vx. Okay, let us go to the next problem. Last problem says Ix. We'll find out the current Ix, where Ix is the current flowing through 10 ohms. It's a simple problem, very simple problem. It's 4-mark problem which you can see here. So what is the current Ix here? Okay, so we have a dependent source which is voltage source, dependent voltage source which is dependent on the current Ix, where Ix is the current flowing through 10 ohms. Very simple. You have 5 ohm in series with this voltage source, convert that into parallel. So therefore I equals V by R. Therefore 2Ix by 5 ohms, which will give you 2 by 5 is 0.4 Ix. And that in turn parallel with 5 ohms and in turn parallel with 10 ohms. And then we have 24 amps here. Now can you see these both are current sources? One is moving upwards and one is moving downwards. So therefore we'll assume 24 is greater than 0.4 Ix. Therefore 24 minus 0.4 Ix. Why minus? Because they both are, arrow is in the opposite direction. So 24 minus 0.4 Ix, and we keep the arrow current flow as similar to 24 amps itself, and then we have 10 ohms and then we have 5 ohms. So we have a total current value here and we have two branches getting divided here. So what would be the method which we can apply? So the simplest method is current division rule. So current division rule is what we apply here. So therefore, I hope in my first video itself I have taught you what is current division. So here the current Ix through 10 ohms will be equal to the total current It multiplied by the opposite resistance 5 ohms divided by the summation of two resistance. So here Ix equals the total current is 24 minus 0.4 Ix multiplied by 5 divided by 10 plus 5, which is 5 by 15. 5 by 15 can be written as 1 over 3. So 1 over 3. So Ix would be equal to 24 minus 0.4 Ix into 1 over 3. Therefore 3 Ix plus 0.4 Ix would be equal to 24. Then you get 3.4 Ix equals 24 and Ix would be equal to 24 by 3.4. Therefore finally Ix equals 7.06 amps. See, you are writing unit amps is very important because in exam you might lose half mark or 1 mark if you don't write the unit for any parameter that you actually find out. Okay, writing unit for any problem is very important. Solution. Okay, again recall problem 5. This is the circuit which is given and they have asked you to find out what is Ix here. So therefore we have to parallel and this is in series, that is converted into parallel, because once you convert this into parallel it becomes very simple because we have a current source here where the parallel, when you convert, the two current sources can be added or subtracted. So we got this, then we subtracted both 24 minus 0.4 Ix and we kept this branch as it is, and then finally we came to know that the total current is getting divided into two different branch. Therefore I am applying current division rule here. So therefore Ix would be equal to the total current multiplied by the opposite resistance divided by the total resistance. So here 24 minus 0.4 Ix is the total current flowing multiplied by the opposite resistance 5 divided by the total resistance 10 plus 5. So therefore with this equation further you solve it, simple mathematics, and you find out Ix to be equal to 7.06 amps. Okay students, I hope till here all 5 problems is clear to you. I hope source transformation, when the dependent sources are given in the question, you can easily find out the solution now, irrespective of the complication that you find out in the problem. First step which is always you people should apply is the redundancy check. Once you find out the redundancy and if that is been removed, then try to analyze the circuit and then try to find out what method that you can apply, whether to convert parallel to series or series to parallel by applying source transformation, and then see how simplest way you can apply this method so that your problem gets reduced step by step, and finally you will be able to find out the solution. Okay, I hope source transformation with my previous video and this video, I hope I have covered the entire concepts of source transformation, and I hope it is clear to you. So in my next video we'll see how to use